like I'm in church. Good evening. Y'all wake up. Good evening. Thank you. That's better. Guys, I appreciate you coming out tonight. I know this is kind of a special called parent meeting. I know we got quite a few students. I told them that was fine for them to come out. We've got a kind of a twofold special meeting tonight. I didn't want to do this on top of Van Parent Association meeting because they've got so much they've got going on with the Crawfish Festival coming up in April and of course getting ready for Vans on Blackwater. But let me remind you that they meet the second Tuesday of every month, which is the 14th. Will be the next one, February. Yeah, be February 14th, 6 or 7 o'clock. She'll bring candy. So make sure that you got that on your calendars. But guys, tonight's meeting is twofold. First of all, we're fixing to kick off another fundraiser that we have not done in a couple of years. That the first time we did it was very successful. We had great participation. And I know that as we started this school year that our fair share was coming in the same time that our band trip was back in December. And we kind of had flip-flops and things. So quite a few of our students still owe for fair share. Okay, and so we need this fundraiser right now, but also I know that next year's band trip, next March, is the cruise. And last time we went on the cruise, we waited too long to the end of the summer, like August, September, to book, and we were not able to get any of our top 3 or 4 cruises that we wanted to take. So in remembering that lesson, we're trying to get on top of that, and I wanted to give you a few months of head start so that we're ready to jump on that. So before we want to talk about the Mattress fundraiser first. I'm going to turn the mic over in just a moment. But then after that meeting, I'm going to spend about 20-25 minutes giving you information about the cruise so you can start preparing if your child's a 9th, 10th, 11th grader, or if you personally want to go on the cruise next March. So this time I'm going to turn it over to our representative from Custom Fundraising Solutions. Please welcome Mr. Adam Jones.
First of all, parents, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. Y'all are the most influential players in this whole event because you guys are the ones that's going to go out into the community, tell people about us, tell people about what we're doing for the band, and I just appreciate you being here. I really also appreciate Mr. Weaver. Thank you so much for what you do with the band and with the kids. Let's give it up for Mr. Weaver.
And Mr. Schultz. I don't think you better.
And Mr. Schultz. They're both the bomb. All right, so let's get the elephant out of the room. How many of you guys were here when we did the first fundraiser sale, mattress fundraiser? Really?
Come on, really?
So it may have been longer than what I thought.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So, what did y'all think about it the first time you heard we're going to do a mattress fundraising sale? How many thought it was a little kooky? When my wife first told me about it, I was like, a mattress fundraiser? I've never heard of that. But guys, it's working, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. I'm going to talk to you about us as a company, how it works, and what we do, and what we need y'all's help to do, okay? So, first of all, we're not a new company. We've been doing business going on our 12th year since 2005, okay? We started off in one location in Cleveland, Ohio. Since then, we've grown to over 60 locations nationwide. My wife and I represent the Mobile area, and we get to help you guys out. So, to date, we've helped almost 3,000 schools, programs just like you guys right here, raise up to $20 million today, okay? So all across America, on any given Saturday, in high school gyms and cafeterias, sales are going to be going on just like the one we're going to do February 18th, okay? They're raising thousands of dollars. Right above us in Hoover, they're averaging 60 to 80 mattresses an event. To the west of us, in Gonzales, Louisiana, East Ascension High School, they're knocking it out of the park, guys. Their last payout was $50,000. They're sold 200 mattresses. The year before that was 160. So this thing really has the potential to grow, okay? And don't worry if you think, well, Milton, we're only, we're a community of 10,000 people. 1 in 10 is going to buy a mattress at any given time during the year. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So, that's a little bit about us and our company's successes. So first off, the first reason I want to talk to you about how this works is, as I mentioned before, the statistic, 1 in 10 out of the population are going to buy a mattress at any given time during the year. All right, whether they buy it from Mattress Firm, whether they buy it from Sleep Center, Rooms to Go, or they buy it from Milton Band, they're going to buy a mattress. Okay? So here's how it works. You know, a couple gets married, they buy a mattress. They have a child, they buy another mattress. The child grows, you know, throughout its time in the home. Buy more mattresses. Okay? Somebody builds a house, they buy a mattress. Somebody moves, they buy a mattress. All right? Again, whether they buy it from Rooms to Go or somewhere else, or they buy it from us, they're still going to buy a mattress. Okay, so think about this. How many mattresses are in your home? How many bedrooms you got? Probably one in every bedroom, right? Okay. So how many of you guys bought a mattress in the last 10 years? Just show of hands. The majority, right? Yeah, that's two. So, all right, let me ask you another question. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not asking if you will buy a mattress. I'm asking, do you have a mattress that can stand to be replaced? The majority again. So the need is there, the market's there, it works. Buying mattresses isn't necessarily water cooler talk or what you talk to your buddies at church or the gym about, you know, but it's something we do. We all sleep on one at the end of the day. Okay. So think about everybody you know, everybody in your sphere of influence, and put them in a room. 1 out of 10 is going to buy a mattress sometime this year. Okay. So the second reason it works is we sell a quality product at a great discount. All right. We sell Simmons Beauty Rest. How many of y'all heard of Simmons? Everybody's heard of Simmons, right? They're one of the top 3 manufacturers in the nation. Been that way for a long time. We also sell Restonic. Although not as widely known, Restonic has won Consumer Digest Best Buy Award 9 times. They won a Woman's Choice Award 4 times. So, guys, anytime you can get 70% of a group of women to like something so much that they'll refer it to a friend, you've done something 4 years in a row. So, during the event, a customer, we all will walk in there and see 20 to 25 different mattresses in the cafeteria, Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Cafeteria laid out just like a showroom you would in any other retail store. We have plush tops, pillow tops, we have firm, we have soft, we have adjustable bases. Again, we're going to have Restonic and Simmons. We have luxury pillows. We've got a bed for every bedroom and budget in your house. Our mattresses start off at $250 and go up to $2,500. And we're able to sell them at 50% off retail because we've eliminated the cost of retail space, and a big part of advertising because this is where you guys come in to help. We're using the gym. We're partnering together in order to reduce cost and put money back into the kids' pockets, back into the band. So unlike a store that sells 40% of the people that come in the door, we tend to, on average, sell about 70% of the people that come through the door because we sell for so much less. Okay? Again, we're able to offer a great discount because we've eliminated the cost of retail space. So what can the customer expect the day of the sale? The customer can expect the same quality product that they would find in a mattress retail store. They can expect the same, if not better, customer service. And they can also, they can get a better price than they would in a mattress retail store. And the profits, the proceeds are going to help the community that everybody loves, that the kids love, okay? That's the reason why it works. Okay, so I've given you a couple reasons why it works. And so we don't need to sell hundreds of a certain product in order to raise money for you guys, in order for the kids to get the money they need to go on the trip. We only need to sell 30, 40, 50 mattresses to have a great event and raise thousands of dollars, okay? So this is a win-win situation. The benefits to you guys, parents, is this is a no financial risk opportunity to raise money. Very little work. The kids don't do any selling. Okay, and so we do most of the work, and we pay for everything. All right. The yard signs. I'm going to ask each of y'all to grab one, put it out in your yard. We pay for those. We pay for the flyers. Okay. We set up for the day of the event. We tear down. We clean up. We take orders at the sale. We coordinate product pickup and delivery. All that stuff we pay for and we provide. Okay. There's very little work in it for you guys, but there is one thing, and it's a big thing. And here's what it is. We ask each of you to find somebody you know, or a couple of people, or 3 people. Find some people you know who want to buy a mattress and bring them to the sale. Okay? This is big. This is the advertising part. So here's how it works. You go home, you think about all the people you know that might be interested in buying a mattress. And there's somebody, okay? And you call them up. Parents, if you will, look at that document we gave you, and turn it over to the back. And there's a sample call dialogue there, okay? A sample script, and it might say something like this: Hey, Johnny's in the band this year, and we're having a mattress fundraiser sale, and they're going to be selling really nice mattresses. You have a mattress in your home that could be replaced. Oh, really? Well, great. Will you buy one from us? It's going to help the band. Okay, great. So the sale is on February the 18th. Okay, you're coming, right? Yeah. And just follow up with them to make sure they come. That's it. That's all you got to do. But that's big, okay? So, the incentives for the kids. Each referral, we're going to give the kids out referral flyers. And so, at the bottom of each flyer is going to be a place for the kid's name, okay? And when you find somebody that's in the market for a mattress, they get that flyer with the kid's name on the bottom of it. And then they bring that flyer to us at the sale. And we track that. And when it comes time for the payout, the kid will get $25 for every referral, okay? So that can add up quickly. I don't want to speak too soon, but there's another sale that we got going on, and one of the parents has some rental properties, and she's planning on buying like 14 mattresses. And so that kid stands to get a lot of incentives. At the Crestview sale, one of the kids got like 6 referrals. So multiply that times 100. 25, sorry. So you can see how the incentives add up, okay? So let me ask you guys this question before I go, because I don't want to take up too much of Mr. Weaver's time. What is the one thing that we ask of you parents? Find that one person that needs to buy a mattress, or 2. Okay? And so, again, I want to mention the yard signs. If you will, grab one of those on your way out. Mr. Weaver's going to help with that. And one more thing before we go. Parents, if you will, go to Facebook. Can we just take a minute to do Facebook real quick? Kids, do Facebook too. If you have it. Let me know when you're there. Type in Milton High School Band in the search box. And we don't have the event up yet. Shame on me. But we will. We will.
We'll put it on our, Mr. Schultz put it on our website.
You guys will have one, and we'll have
we got
one.
2 Facebook pages,
2
websites, and all
Facebook.
that.
And so what we want you to do is go there and click, like the event, and then share it with your friends and click that I'm going, okay? And so think about if everybody, all the parents in here, and most of the kids did that with their Facebook, how many people would be exposed to the event that we're getting ready to put on. All right, parents, thank you so much.
Is there any questions real quick? Ms. Bullock?
Yeah, are you gonna, I noticed that you didn't have an extra long twin on here when you listed all the different sizes that are available. That's a real common size on probably college.
Yes, ma'am, we can get that size ordered.
They don't bring it that day, right? They can order it.
Right, we won't have that size in our display, but you won't see that size when you come to the sale, but we can order that. Yes.
Okay, in a sentence?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Yes, sir.
For the cash incentive, for the referrals, do they have to buy a mattress in order for us to get that benefit?
Yes, sir, they have to buy a mattress. Yep. Yep.
And actually, we work it differently, I think, with managers, I think, because they do profit, I think it's $50, $75, if I remember right.
Right, that goes to.
Okay.
Whatever they rate goes to them.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, that's what we did last time. So they make it per mattress. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Ms. Schultz, you got a question?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. Again, guys, we're here if you've got questions about that. Thank you again. We appreciate you guys working with us, okay? And I'll say a couple of things. A few years ago when the other salesperson came to me with this idea, he said, "You want to buy a mattress?" I'm like, "Dude, what? Are you crazy? You lost your mind." And that first year I had no idea what to expect. The one thing I wanted to make sure is that it wasn't high pressure. I didn't want folks walking in and then like not letting them leave until they bought a mattress. And they guaranteed me and promised me it wasn't that way, and I was here, and they don't. It's you can walk around, we're here to help you if you need help. Now, what I was talking to him about is we don't make money off of, they're used to working with programs that you're making money for the program. You know, we do fundraisers with kids that the profit goes to the kids. We don't keep parts of the profit, okay? So if I recall right, what I had read this thing, they gave me a folder, I believe for every full and single bed that you sell, it's $50 that you make. For every king that is sold with your referral, every queen is 75, every king is 100, if I recall correctly. I'll double check that and send that out in an email, but I believe that's what I read the other day. I think I put that in an email, if I'm not mistaken. I read it, but I can put it in an email. So there's more than $25 we made. Again, this is for kids. This is for them to raise money towards fair share, towards their trip next year, so okay? But thank you for that. Ms. Weaver, can we get these other handouts passed out? Can we get some help helping her pass those out? Let's talk band trip 2018. Can't believe I'm over a year out, but I'm working on this. But as I shared with you guys, the last time we took a cruise, we take our cruise during spring break, and the first time we took a cruise, I was kind of blindly going into it. Me and Mrs. Weaver had started cruising. And as we're actually getting on the Fantasy in Mobile one time, there was a group of a high school band of about 35 that were in line in front of us. And she said, "You need to bring the band on a cruise." I'm like, "You have lost your mind. Why would I take the band on a cruise?" They go to a different country, and our hotel travels with us and all this kind of stuff. And as I watched that group on that cruise here some 9-10 years ago, I said, "You know what? This would be a blast." And so some 9 years ago, we decided to forego our San Antonio trip, and that we used to always do, which is a long haul on a charter bus, and start the cruise. And that first year we went on the Fantasy out of Mobile. Had no trouble booking it, and got the cruise we're looking for. 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, when we were looking to do our second cruise with a new set of students, we got ready to book the trip, and Mobile, of course, didn't have a Carnival ship. We couldn't get out of New Orleans, we couldn't get out of Tampa, and we ended up having to go with Royal Caribbean out of Port Canaveral. Now, I've sailed Disney and Royal Caribbean and Carnival, and I think that Carnival is more fun for kids, and it's the fun ship. Where Royal Caribbean's a little bit more elegant and kind of adultsy, so to speak. And so the last time we took a cruise, I didn't enjoy it that much, okay, because I didn't think the kids got that fun experience that Carnival offers. And as we got to looking and figuring out that during spring break there are limited student group cruises because they know these cruise lines know that they're going to fill these ships up during spring break. So last time we started looking at like July, August, started talking, getting the word out. And so we tried to book in late August, early September. All we could get was Royal Caribbean. So in talking to the company, we know that we've got to get a head start on this thing. Okay. So the last time that we cruised, I tried to go through Carnival directly because I know I can go on the website. It's a lot cheaper when I look at it on the website. And Carnival or none of the cruise lines will deal directly with school groups. Matter of fact, we have to go through one of two travel companies. The one that we use is out of Orlando. It's called Straight A Tours. And they do that for a reason because they want to limit the school groups. They want to make sure the safety nets are in place rather than Greg Weaver calling up Carnival and going, hey, I need 56 rooms and we're going to bring 325 kids and so forth. It's a very secure type thing. Okay? So as I kind of present this, I want you to kind of keep that in mind. We're having to go through Straight A Tours, but there's something great about that. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. First of all, notice at the top it says that we have not had this approved by the school board yet. Okay? We're going to work the next couple of months to get school board approval. The principal has put his stamp on it. I do not foresee any problems. Why? Because we've done 2 cruises in the past 9 years already with the vans. Okay? Once the kids graduate, I do the same 4 trips over and over again. All right? So we've not had any issues the last 2 cruises. Don't intend to have any issues on this one. So I don't expect that to be an issue. Okay, we will miss 1 day of school if we get the cruise that we want, which is the day before spring break starts. But the beauty is we'll be back on the Monday at the beginning of spring break, so we'll be in around lunchtime on Monday, and they'll have the rest of the week off for spring break. That's good for them and for us, okay? So understand that, but before you make deposits, before we send all that money off, we're going to make sure in the next couple months that we get school board approval. If it doesn't go through, I'll notify you, and we'll do something else. Okay, everybody follow me on that. Now, looking at 2 different options. We had looked at several different options. We had looked at of course, Mobile. We looked at New Orleans, Jacksonville, and Tampa as some of our ports of departure. And after having kind of weighed all these things out, we've got 2 options. Our first option, the one that we want to do, is the easy option and the less expensive option. And that is to go on the Carnival Fantasy. That's the ship that is back in at Mobile. It is a 4-night cruise. They do a 4-night and a 5-night. The 4-night seems to work better for us with our dates, also with our pocketbooks, because the 5 nights considerably more expensive, and we don't really want to stop at Progressive because there's not much to do there. Okay, but you can see it leaves on Thursday, March the 15th. We get together that morning, which is the last day of school before spring break. We would charter bus is the plan right now, not school bus. Last time we took school buses, you should have seen the look on those passengers' face. They're pulling up in their cars and saw 4 school buses sitting there. Okay. We're like, oh no! The plan right now, I did get some prices. Good time tours, a little bit cheaper than Gulf Coast tours with the transports for cruise ports. But we would take charter buses over Thursday morning. Friday we'd leave out Thursday afternoon. Friday would be a day at sea. Saturday would be our day in Cozumel. I think 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock that evening. Sunday would be a day at sea as we come back across the Gulf. And then we wake up Monday morning, we're sitting back in Mobile, we get back on the charter buses, we come home. Notice it does visit Cozumel, Mexico. Now this was my biggest issue 9 years ago. I thought, what are we going to do when we're in a foreign country? I'm not going to say, all right, see you this afternoon. Okay, so me and my wife took a scouting trip down on the Fantasy in February, the sickest I've ever been, seasick coming back across, and the front was coming through, and the waves were coming over the top of the ship. We won't go there. I'm not trying to scare you off. But Cozumel is an island. And what we're going to do the day at Cozumel is we're going to give them several different excursions. That's what we did the last time. That's also what we did 5 years ago when we went to the Bahamas, or 4 years ago when we went to the Bahamas, okay? We'll give them a chance to go to a beach break. We'll give them a chance to do a snorkeling break at a Mexican park called Chacanab. We'll have a group go on an island tour where they actually go around the island. They stop at Discover Mexico, which is like a little museum type thing. And the cheapest one is that we simply get the students with their group of adults and we send them downtown in taxis and they shop. That's probably the cheapest. All right, but they'll do an excursion that day. Notice the prices. Now this includes the cruise, includes a charter bus, and what I call a travel pack. A travel pack is we always do a t-shirt, a cruise shirt that high school band, tearing down Cozumel or whatever. Okay. A theme shirt that we wear. We all wear it the day that we're in Cozumel so that we can see all the bright orange shirts are ours. Okay, we're on the island of Cozumel. It includes a lanyard that says Milton High School Band and Cruise 2018, because there's their ring key, which is also what they call their selling sign card. We'll put a hole in it and clip it to their lanyard so they don't lose it. So as they're going around the ship, it's always on the lanyard. They get in and out of their ring and so forth. And we'll also do luggage tags. We do these Panther Paw luggage tags that are using some kind of fluorescent color so that when we get off the boat, we know where all our, we can look and see, okay, all the bright orange ones are ours. Okay, so that kind of includes your travel pack as well. Notice it is $6.15 per student, $6.45 per adult. And I'm gonna tell you, this is what bothered me the first time we did it. I could go on the Carnival's website and I can find the same exact cruise for $389 or $429 or whatever it is. Okay, and I kept going. I mean, as a matter of fact, the first time I did, I called Carnival and said, why can't I book through you? And I thought, man, these folks are making $200 a person. The truth of the matter is they're making about $40 to $50 a person. Because this includes not only the cost of the cruise, it includes the port taxes and fees, which is about $83. It also includes the gratuities. You pay a certain amount each day for your room steward, for the maitre, well, not the maitre d' anymore, but for your waiter, your head waiter, your assistant waiters, and all that. This is all inclusive as far as what you pay the boat. So when you start adding all that together, plus if you go on your own and you have to park at the port, there's another $20 a day, okay? They're making about $30 to $40 a person, but we're getting a lot of stuff back as a result of that. Straight A Tours is making that money. Milton High School Band's not, trust me. All right? So it includes all of that. There will be some extra expenses that they will incur on this cruise, okay? And Nassau, depending on what they do, it could range anywhere from $50 to $90, or if they just go shopping, maybe $30 or so, okay? But like Shakana, we'll put them in taxis like we did last time. It's about 3 miles from the port. They'll taxi down. We'll just pay the general admission. They'll go in. They can snorkel. They can swim. There's a swimming pool there. They can lay out in the sun. There's a dolphin encounter there that they can watch. It's really expensive to do it. There's a sea lion show. There's a natural park and so forth. They can walk back. There's Playa Mia Beach Break, which we've sent them in the past, okay? Which is like just kind of a cool Mexican beach break. A bunch of chairs. There's a freshwater pool there as well if they don't want to get in the Gulf, the Caribbean, okay? We'll give them different options, but that'll be on top of this, depending on what they choose. Nothing really more than $90. Onboard soda plant. Now on board the ships, they have unsweet tea, they have lemonade, which I love the lemonade, or you can mix them and call it an Arnold Palmer, okay? And they have water. Now in the mornings, they'll have orange juice and stuff like that. Some folks can't do without their caffeine. I'll tell you, if you go up to the bar and you ask for a can Coke, it's gonna cost you about $2.50 plus tip, about $2.78 or something like that, okay? But they do offer an onboard soda plan, $6.50 a day, and you go up to the bar and get all the, they put something on your card, and you go up and show your card, and you get all the unlimited soft drinks that you want. It's $6.50 a day. You can't buy it by the day, you buy it by a 4-day. You have to do it for the whole cruise, okay? You got that. Onboard specialty items, there's a place there where you can get specialty coffees, specialty desserts, that kind of stuff, okay? That may be an extra expense. Souvenirs, they'll want to buy souvenirs. In Mexico, they'll go to some places that are very inexpensive. They can get some cheap hats, Mexican hats and blankets and just different things, little ceramic skulls, they're all painted bright colors, that kind of stuff. And professional photos. Anywhere you turn around on board of a Carnival ship, they're taking your picture. Every night before dinner, they've got all these beautiful setups, and I don't know how they can make me look so good, but it cost us an arm and a leg. We look that good. It's all I'm gonna say. Okay, we've got stacks of Carnival photos at home. Okay, but they'll take those. They're not required to buy that stuff, but when they're dressed nice, and all of a sudden you see that picture, man, they look really good. It's hard to say that. Okay, so those are some extra expenses. If we're unable to go to Mobile and go out of that, if for some reason some other group books it before we do, we call Straight A Tours in May when the prices come out. Let me say this: these prices are guesstimated. Okay, I call Straight A. They've given us the 2017 prices. 2018 prices don't come out until May. So I called our contact at Straight A and I said, man, I got a parent meeting coming up next week and I need the 2018 prices. I said, how much they usually go up? He said, about $10 at the most. So what I did is took 2017 prices, bumped it up $10, okay? I added the bus into this as well. The bus going over there is gonna cost us, I believe it was about $40 a person, okay? And I put the t-shirt and the packet about $20 as well. That's all added in for the $615. So everybody follow me on that? If the prices come out, all of a sudden Carnival's kicked them up, I'll let you know as soon as they come out in May. If for some reason that cruise is booked up, option 2, we're looking at Carnival Elation, a 5-night cruise, 1 extra night, out of Jacksonville, Florida. It leaves on Monday of spring break. It comes back on that Saturday, March the 24th. Now, it's considerably expensive. It's also an extra day. It also has 2 porter calls. We stop twice instead of once. Notice it visits Half Moon Cay, which is a private island beach break. The boat pulls up. They have little tender boats, little boats that go between the ship and anchors off the shore. It's a little island. I could probably take a baseball and throw it from one end all the way across the other side of it. It's not very wide. It's got a bunch of palm trees. It's got some beach chairs. Okay, it's got some hammocks under the trees. They've got the buffet, Carnival, and I think the Royal Caribbean shares that one as well. They've got, the buffet things where their workers come off the ship and they serve lunch on the island, like a cookout kind of thing that day. It has that. It also has a stop in Nassau, which is where we took the band last time. Okay, the stop in Nassau, we would give them several different things that they can do that day. Last time we did the Sea to Sea tour, which was kind of a downtown look around tour. Then they went to one of those, it's like a boat where you sit about 5 feet underwater with windows and you can go and see. Mr. Schultz went with a group that went snorkeling, right? We did the snorkeling thing. I've also, me and Miss Weaver years ago found a gentleman that does the private taxi tours named Felton Cox. And last time we contacted Felton and said, hey, look, we're going to have about 100 folks that want to do an island tour. And he had a buddy of his. They got 2 buses, and they did an island tour for about $50 a person, which is about a 2.5-hour tour. We went to the zoo that was there and saw the pink flamingos and the flamingo show and all that kind of stuff. Okay, wherever we're at in Nassau or Cozumel, we're going to give them an option of what the excursion is they want to do. That's going to cost extra. Okay, see the prices there for the cruise, the charter bus, guys, which is considerably more money. All right, from Jacksonville compared to Mobile. Okay, I got a quote in. I didn't tell Miss Weaver this today. I think it's about $140 from Good Times. It's $170 from Gulf Coast Tours per person. So about $140 for us to get to Jacksonville in charter buses. And the travel pack is $850 a student, $880 per adult. That includes all the port fees, taxes, gratuities, and you can see the extra expenses just like on the other. Okay, so considerable difference there. $200, a little over $200. Again, though, you've got the extra day and the extra thing that you get to do there at Half Moon Cay. Okay, so everybody understand? Option 1 is Mobile. That's what we're planning to do, unless that falls through. And then, even believe it or not, leaving out of New Orleans is more expensive than going to Jacksonville. Okay, when I priced that yesterday, I had you can ask Ms. Weaver, Ms. Schultz, I had about 4 different ones listed, and so that's kind of where we are. All right, payment schedule. This is why I wanted you here. We had our band trip back in December. We're trying to kind of finish getting everything paid. I wanted to give you a little heads up because we're going to need a deposit fairly soon. We're going to need to know who's going fairly soon. It's already fixed to be February 1st tomorrow, so we're just looking at 3 months from now. By May 19th, I need to know who's going. And we're going to have to get word out to the 8th graders. I'm going to have to have a meeting with the 8th grade parents that are coming to high school band so that we can get in there early, get this thing booked for us. Okay? So band intention forms by May the 19th. Then by June 1st, I'm going to need that $150 deposit. Let me tell you why. Because probably around May the 26th, once we get all the forms in, we compile them, we're going to turn around, we're going to book the rooms, and within 3 weeks, I have to have a check to Straight A Tours for our deposits. Does everybody follow me on that? So I've got, from the day we book, I've got 3 weeks to get the deposit, the check in their hands, so that the rooms are paid for to hold the rooms, all right? So $150 by June the 1st. I'm not going to ask you for any more payments until we're a little over 120 days out. Because my next check to them has got to be 120 days before the cruise. So I've asked you to get another $200 per person, which is what they require, turned in by November the 3rd. I think the 6th or the 7th is when I've got to have them their check. Okay? And then notice the remaining balance of the cruise, which does not include the excursion, is due by December 1st. That's what they're required, 90 days. Okay? If you've ever went on a cruise and dealt with Carnival or Royal Caribbean directly, usually you're sitting at 120 and 90 days when you have to have it paid as well. Okay? So, now, let me help you understand this. Anytime between June the 1st and November that you want to be making payments, by all means, send them in, notate that they're for the band cruise on the envelopes. Right, Ms. Weaver? So that you've got a little bit more heads up time. Last time we told the group in like late July, early August, hey, we're going on a cruise and we need all your money by November. Okay? So we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen this time. Everybody follow me on that? Notice a few things. If you cancel, notice down here, this is straight out of their handbook, what they sent me. Straight A tours up to 120 days out. So anytime between that, when you make that deposit in June and November 3rd, if you cancel, it's going to cost you it's going to cost you $50. You'll be able to get $100 back. Okay? If you cancel between 120 and 91 days, you're going to forfeit $75. If you cancel 90 to 61, $200 a person. If 60 to 31 days, you're going to lose half the total fare, and 30 days to the day of the cruise, you lose it all. So a month out, if you have to cancel, you've lost that money. All right? This is not my rules. This is Straight A Tours rules. Notice as well, name change policies. I want you to really hear this. If we have to change your name. Now understand, Homeland Security, all this kind of stuff is extremely important. Trust me, I know. I've got an experience. I'll share a little bit with you. Okay? Your name, when your intention form, we need your legal first and last name. For example, I go by Gray Weaver. My name is John Grayson Weaver. If I put Gray Weaver, that's not going to work because that's not what's on my birth certificate, and that's not what's on my passport. It's got to be John Weaver. Okay? If we have to change a name, this is them, because Straight A has to contact Carnival. There's a $50 name change fee. So please make sure when you're filling this out that we get your legal first name, legal last name, whatever's on your birth certificate, whatever's on your passport. Okay? Yeah, make sure it's legible too. We want to make sure we don't print it. We want to make sure we spell it correctly too. You follow me? That stuff adds up. Any questions about that? You guys, of all the trips we do, this is the only one that we use an outside company. I schedule everything else. Me and Miss Weaver, Mr. Schultz, like New York, Washington, I book all the hotels, I call, I've got the contacts and do all that. This one, we're playing by their rules, okay? Now, flipping the page over, let's talk real briefly about what is included. Because this is what Straight A Tours provides us, all right? We're going to get interior stateroom with 24-hour room service. You've never been on a cruise, you can pick up the phone, and there's a little menu in your room, and if you want a grilled cheese sandwich at 1:30 in the morning, you can order it, and they'll bring it to your room. It doesn't cost you anything but maybe a tip, okay? All meals is included, including fine dining, late night snacks, specialty buffets, casual buffet dining, 24-hour pizzeria, made-to-order deli, 24-hour ice cream, which is my favorite, by the way, snacks, and more. The ice cream, that's what I want. Huh? Oh, Guy's Burgers, yeah, that is actually my favorite, okay? So, listen, if you, and these van trips are all about providing experiences for our kids and our parents that they may never have experienced. That's what it was for me when I came through high school. My first time going to D.C. and New York City was a Milton High School band back in 1987, okay? Now, I've been back several times because that kind of lit me on fire to do those kind of things. If you've never been on a cruise, it is the ultimate vacation. You hear me when I say your food is free, okay? Listen to me. What that means, guys, we walk into a fine dining room every night for dinner. We sit down, and our assistant waiter comes up and pours our water, and they put the bread on the table, and they hand you a menu, and you flip open that menu, and it's got appetizers, escargot, spring rolls, okay? It's got a list of appetizers. And they come to the table, and they say, Mr. Weaver, what would you like? And I'm like, well, I'll take one of those, and one of those, and one of those, and hey, let me try that one. And then for my main entree, let me get this, okay? Or hey, if both of these entrees look good, can I have both, all right? And it's included. Everybody follow me on that. It's included. It's part of it. So if you wanted to try snails, escargot, here's your chance, okay? All that's included. Guys, there's a buffet, the casual buffet. The hours it's open, usually breakfast, lunch, dinner, it's included. You go up there, a lot of times there's different kinds of buffets that they got. One may be American food. There's always one with Indian food near the back there, okay? I mean, there is always usually, there's a deli where they make different types of sandwiches that's open usually 24 hours a day. There's the pizzeria where there's always a line, okay? Where they're constantly cranking pizza out and you go get one or two slices of pizza, all right? There's the ice cream machines, which again are one of my favorites. And Miss Weaver, correct me, on the Fantasy there is also on the pool deck a Guy's Burgers. The absolute best hamburger you will ever put in your mouth. Anybody know Guy Fieri, the guy with the white? It's his place, okay? I never thought potato sticks on a hamburger would be good until I had a Guy's burger with potato sticks. The crunch is incredible. Okay, so all that is included, including room service. So understand that. All shipboard activities and entertainment, including the professional live shows, the main show lounge nightly, are included. The game shows, the trivia games, swimming. Even though I'm going to tell you, the swimming pool is about 4 times the size of my podium right here. It looks big in pictures. When you get on board, you're like, that's the pool. You know, there's 150 people hanging out in the pool. And it's, you know, about this big. There's, 1,000 people hanging out around the pool, sitting in the recliners, okay, in the house chairs, all right? So, but guys, at night, there are certain nights, usually it's probably 2 of the 4 nights, there will be shows, okay, in the main theater that are very comparable to type Broadway-style shows, where they've got usually a couple of singers. They've got all these dancers and costumes and lighting, and sometimes they'll have a small orchestra, so to speak, okay, a group of about 8 or 10 musicians that are playing along with them and different things, all right? All that's included. All through the day. At night, you'll get what's called a fun times in your room. And there'll be the schedule for the next day, the days at sea. They'll have lots of trivia games going on. It may be, 80s trivia, or it may be movie music trivia. And you go in and you play these games, and you're fighting in these games for a ship on a stick, they call it, which is a little bitty small carnival, fantasy trophy, like a little plastic, solid gold plastic trophy, and different things. There's all kinds of activities. Notice as well that it includes a teen club, dancing. A lot of times the teen clubs, they go to some of the different adult clubs at certain hours, and they have dances and so forth that goes in. It includes the gym. It includes karaoke. All right. There's actually even on certain cruises that on straight 8 tours will arrange for us to have our own karaoke hour. We're just the high school band used to go and do karaoke. Performance on board the ship or port side. We're going to wait and kind of see what kind of group we've got going and try to determine if we're going to give a performance or not. 2 cruises ago we did. It was pretty awesome. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but it was pretty awesome. And then I had to go to customs to get all the instruments cleared through customs like a week out. And then we had to rent a cabin to put all the instruments in on board the ship, and they had to go through all that. But once we got the concerts were kind of cool. I don't know if we'll do that or not. We don't necessarily have to, but if we've got a good group, if the group feels like we want to, we may give a concert at one of the days at sea. But they'll include that. A Festival at Sea is representative, available 24 hours on board the ship to assist. When we went with Carnival, or last time we went with Royal Caribbean, they had a person that worked for Royal Caribbean that was just sort of there to help me if I need them. When we went with Carnival, we have a person that actually meets us at the cruise port that's our professional person the whole time. They met us outside, they got us all the way through. When we were checking in, helped us, here's where you put your luggage, and kind of made sure everybody got through. They had a ship phone, any time, day or night I needed, I called. They were in a cabin right down the hall. They met with us when we got on board that afternoon. They went over the rules. They talked about, be sure you do this, hey, don't miss this, be sure to check this out. And then as we got ready to get off the ship, well, she was with us every night at dinner, and then as we got ready to get off the ship the night before we got back home, they met with us and went over, here's what you can expect. Here's what you don't say in front of Homeland Security. Kind of stuff, okay? So they go over that. So that gives us a person 24 hours a day there with us. You can see the welcome board meeting, the debarkation meeting, all right? Festival at Sea gift for each participant. Each one of our folks will get some type of gift. In the past, it was a festival at sea, like a beach towel, if I remember right, okay? An hour karaoke party on certain ships. We'll have at least 30 people, I'm sure. It includes all the taxes and fees, onboard gratuities. Notice that last one. This is what the school district really likes. Straight 8 Tours has $2 million in liability insurance. You hear me? So when I send the letter to be voted on by the school board, I say, and they have $2 million in liability insurance. And they go, ding, because that clears them. You with me? Everybody follow me. Guys, we'll go over rules. I have never felt unsafe on a cruise ship, okay? And I've never felt any of our group was unsafe on a cruise ship. Other stuff that includes transportation via the charter buses to the cruise port and back to Milton High School, and the travel pack I talked about, the cruise t-shirt, the lanyard, and a couple of luggage tags per person as well. Now, some things I need you to know as we're kind of wrapping up the last section here. Travel documents. I'm going to let you know this in advance, okay? This is what is called a closed loop tour, which means we set sail and we get off the boat at the same place. We leave in Mobile, we come back to Mobile. That makes it a closed loop. It goes somewhere, but it comes back to Mobile, okay? Which means you don't necessarily have to have a passport, okay? You can have, I recommend a passport, okay? But you may use a birth certificate, a state-issued birth certificate, and a government-issued photo ID. Now, let me explain that. State-issued birth certificate is one that has state of Florida, state of Alabama, wherever you were born. It is not one that has your handprints and your footprints on it, okay? My very first cruise, Port Canaveral, I show up with my birth certificate that I've used to get my driver's license when I turned 16. I've had all my life. It's got a picture of the hospital with gold seal, engraved John G. Weaver's handprints and footprints are on the back. And she goes, birth certificate. I go, here you go. And she said, sir, that's not your birth certificate. And I tried to argue. It's like, ma'am, that has been my birth certificate all my life. Excuse me? Here, you want to see? Okay. I didn't know. State issued it, there's something totally different. Okay. So make sure that it was all on. You can ask Mrs. Weaver. We stood at Port Canaveral, and I'm like, what do I do? They're like, they can go on the boat. You can't go on the boat. And I'm like, I understand. It's my first cruise. I stayed at Port Canaveral. So we called the Alabama Office of Vital Records and Statistics, and I talked to a young lady there, and I sweet talked her. I said, ma'am, I'm getting ready to get on a cruise, and I was born in Alabama. And she looked it up and said, yeah, I got it right here, your state birth certificate. I said, how much will it cost me? It's like $37. And I said, can I please beg you, I will send you whatever you want from Nassau. And she said, I'll fax it if you'll give me a fax number, okay? And she wanted saltwater taffy, and I got it, mailed it to her, we got that covered, okay? But she faxed it, it came in right there. I was standing at the desk, it came in, and it was my birth certificate. It said void, all over it. Okay? They let me on the ship because they were standing there when it came through. Homeland Security did not want to let me off the ship because that guy didn't have that sense of humor. Okay? And I handed him that sheet that said void all over it. But so understand it, okay? Of course, I offered to go back to Nassau, and he said, don't get on the country. All right? So you got to have that. You got to have like a driver's license, or if you're too young, the driver's license department. Okay, DMV, thank you. Will give you. You can get just an ID that's not a driver's license. Okay, but it has to be government issued. A military ID with a photo will work as well. Now, let me explain the difference between that and the passport. The passport, let's say we get to Cozumel, there's a death in the family, they've got to get home. With a passport, we can get them to the airport, they can get on a plane and come home. Okay? If they don't have the passport, they've got to ride the boat back, and it'll be 2 days later when they get back to Mobile. That's really the big difference. Okay, does everybody follow me on that? So the passport allows you to be able to get off the boat, jump on a plane, and get back home. Now, we're only making one stop. So if something happens on our way back, you're going to have to wait when you get back to Mobile anyway. Okay, you follow me on that? So just something to know in advance. If you're interested in the passport, I've given you some information there. You go to the clerk of court's office down here behind McDonald's at the Santa Rosa County buildings down here. I recommend going to CVS. You can get your little picture made there at the photo lab. Okay, and then you can go in there, and it's $135 total. I think $110, and then $25 that the clerk of courts gets. So $135 total. I've given you a link. You may want to fill the paperwork out before you get there. Okay, passports are good for 10 years. If they're Ms. Weaver, if they're under 16 or under 18, it's not 10 years, right? It's 5 years if they're under. Up to 16. Okay. You had a question? Yeah, what we'll actually do is, at our last trip meeting, is we'll collect them from you. We'll make goodie bags, or not goodie bags. We'll put them all in a zipper bag, and usually we have 2 adults who are responsible for 8 kids getting them through check-in. And so, we make sure that we get there. Now, I'm going to tell on her, Miss Tina Byers, last time, we got to Port Canaveral 5 years ago, and she went, I don't have my driver's license. It was in her car. And we had to stop, 2 of them, we had to stop by the DMV at Port Canaveral. We had to call up here. Thank goodness we knew our tax collector person up here, and he convinced them to make them another driver's license. So, all right, so we'll collect it from the students. The parents are on their own. If they forget it, they're on their own, okay? So, but we will collect it. Good question. Notice the second thing. Our goal is it's 4 students per cabin, 2 to 3 adults, depending per cabin, okay? Most time it'll be 2. Every once in a while, if we've got an odd number, we may ask 3 ladies or 3 guys to share a cabin. Understand this, that usually in these interior rooms that hold up to 4 people, everybody has their own bed. There's usually a single bed on each side, and there are 2 beds that lower from the wall. So it looks like bunk beds when you walk in. These rooms are not very big. Okay, I'll just say that. They're for sleeping, resting, and showering. And you want to spend most of your time out on the open decks and so forth on board the boat, okay? Married couples that go, we can request that your twin beds be put together to form a king bed, okay? Or if you request we keep them as twin beds, you can have your own space, all right? So just let you know that. Cabins are interior rooms. That means they don't have windows. And we'll talk about that later on the trip meeting. That means they can sleep till 1 o'clock and not even realize it because there's no sunlight coming through, okay? But again, the cabin is really only a place for them to sleep, rest, and shower. It's not a hangout place. It really isn't. Ton of activities to do. They want to get out and enjoy the sun, the ocean, all the activities on board. Next bullet point, if you book outside the group, listen to me. I know, I share with you, I know you can go on and you can do it cheaper. Remember, you got to add all this other stuff, and you got to add the point that you're going to have to drive. You're going to have to probably pay $20 a day to park there as well. Okay? Understand this, because I've had some folks do this in the past, and this really puts us in an awkward position. They'll book outside, they go, hey, we want to ride the bus with y'all, and hey, we want to do everything that y'all are doing. It don't work that way, y'all. Okay? It can't work that way. Remember that we're paying straight A tours to book our excursions and to book our stuff. Okay? And for us to have to add tag-ons, you know, we can't do it that way. Either you're with us or you're not with us. You know, if you go on your own, understand that you don't go to our meetings, our you know, welcome aboard meeting and our debarkation. You're kind of on your own with that. And I'm not trying to be mean by that, but it really kind of puts us in an awkward situation. We have to have one adult to every 10 kids to go, and you don't have any problem with that. Okay? But you're either on the trip or you're not on the trip. Does that make sense to you? So, and I'm not being mean by that, but we have enough to deal with our kids and our trip, and for me to try to balance and go, we need to charge Mr. and Miss Smith to ride the bus, and they want me to book this. We can't do that. We don't have the time and the energy to be able to do that. All right? Before we go as well, we'll do some cruise training meetings. I'm almost done here. On these cruise training, here's the beauty. I'm going to tell you guys, the first time we went on a cruise, I wasn't sure what to expect. We're sitting here, we're talking to the parents and students, and I've only been on just a handful of cruises, and we're like, all right, there's going to be a formal night, and you need to dress up. And they're all like, oh, I got to dress up. This, we're good. If battery's okay. And it was just kind of weird. What I discovered that first cruise was that our kids enjoy dressing up. When they go to formal night, I mean, I'm sitting here in like a coat and tie, and they're walking in with tuxes, and the girls with their prom dresses, okay? And they were like, good evening, Mr. Weaver, okay? Matter of fact, the night after that, with the last night of the cruise, I showed back up, and I'm wearing something like this, you know, something a little dressy, and I sit down, all the band kids start coming in, they're all dressed to the hilt, and I'm like, hey guys, it's casual dressy tonight. No, Mr. Weaver, it's the last night of the cruise, we're gonna look good, okay? So, before we go, next year, February, March, we're going to do some after-school stuff, some meetings, probably in the evenings, where we'll meet, some things we're going to talk about. We'll probably bring Miss Sanborn, who we have in the past, and she's going to talk about the Mexican culture a little bit. Make it where they can appreciate more of what they're seeing when they're in Cozumel. If you've never been there and you go around the island, the poverty's unreal, and you need to be prepared for that. But she also talks to them, gives them certain Spanish words that they may need, and all of us that we may need. You know, baños, where's the bathroom? Right? Things like that. She talks to them about, as tourists, how we need to be gracious towards them. A lot of American tourists will go there and be rude. We're in their country, okay? And we'll do that kind of stuff. We'll train them on dining etiquette. Man, I have learned some stuff since we started these training sessions. The first year we brought in the ROTC. 5 years ago, we did our own. You know, when Gray Weaver eats his soup, I shovel it in my mouth out of the bowl. You know, dining etiquette says you're supposed to scoop away and then put it in your mouth. What forks do you use when? Okay? What side is your bread on? Which side is your drink on? You ever thought about that? We'll teach them some shortcuts, because you'll have a bread plate, you'll have a cup, you'll all be sitting around a table, and you're like, which cup is mine? Okay? So, and listen to me, this is what's important. This is the educational side of the trip. Okay? Guys, we do these things, I shared, to show our kids and our parents things they may never see again. Okay? But also to train them in these things. So the next time they go on a cruise and they're sitting at the table, and everybody around them goes, I'm not sure what drink is mine, they go, hey, I got a shortcut, let me show you. Okay? So we'll do some trainings like that. We'll go over some hints and tips on what to pack, how to pack. Most everybody overpacks for a cruise. Okay? After about our 22nd cruise now, I think I've kind of got it figured out. All right? So we'll go over those hints and tips. We'll give them some handouts and so forth. So be prepared for that. As I shared, flip the page real quick. We're almost done. One of the dinners on the cruise will be formal night. Okay, formal night, which means dressy attire is required. Okay, so usually in the past, the young ladies wear prom dresses, or it could be any Sunday dress that's dressy, or a semi-formal or formal gown. Some folks go to the hill. Guys, it's usually a suit and tie, slacks, sport coat, or tie. So usually it's a tie is involved. Okay, coat. Okay, you can wear tux, but again, it's not required. Again, I've discovered that our students like to dress up, and for this event in the past. Let me say this, last point. Of all the trips, now guys, we take 4 trips. Gatlinburg, Washington, D.C., New York City, Disney, which we just did in the cruise, and then that group will graduate, and I'll do the same 4 trips over again. The 2 most memorable trips is Washington, D.C., New York City. The other one I always hear, because when they go out as seniors, I always question them. I give them their senior exam in the year is, what was your most memorable trip? What was your most, what was your most memorable experience? Is usually the cruise and New York City. Okay, this is one of those that as they go off right off into the sunset, when they look back at their high school days, they remember the cruise. Okay, not, for the fun times, but also for what they learned, for the cultural experiences that they went through on this thing. All right, so something to think about there is we're kind of planning this far in advance, how much it costs. The 2 most expensive, number 1 is Washington, New York. It's about $1,100 per person, and of course this one is the second most expensive. Okay, are there any questions? Yes, sir.
On the number of people per room, is that 4 students per cabin or?
Yeah, the adults are usually students, we try to go 4 per cabin, okay? Every once in a while, let's say we've got 47 girls, and 40, you've got 1 extra spot, so one girl's cabin, they have 3 kids in it. Usually based on seniority.
Secondly, if there's a family going, like there's two adults and 2 kids.
Right.
Is it possible?
Usually if your kids are younger, they're in the room with you. They're in the room with you. That makes sense? I don't usually put young kids that aren't in the high school band.
I mean high school students.
Oh, no, they'll be with other high school students, yeah. Yes, okay? Good question. What do you add? So some of you guys, can you take your entire family? Absolutely. If you got kids that aren't in the band, they're gonna be with you. They're gonna be your responsibility, okay? But if, let's say you and your wife and you got 2 kids in the Milton High School band, no, we're not gonna put your 2 kids with you. Are you crazy? Man, you enjoy it. You live it up, okay? So I'm gonna take your kids off your hands for 4 days, I promise, all right? But good question, very good question. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have an 8th grader, can I go ahead and start paying?
Absolutely, okay? And guys, listen, I want to give you plenty of time. Man, if you're like us, you have to budget for these things. And so we had the mattress guy tonight, but I wanted to give you a chance to, before I go, hey, I need a $150 deposit by June 1st. I wanted to give you some months to work on that. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Does this group offer traveler's insurance?
Yeah, I will check on that.
Because sometimes things come up.
You know what we did? I'll tell you what we did last time. We did not go through them. I know back then, who's now Miss Reyes, one of the Harley, who was one of our former veterans, she had an insurance company, and we had an insurance. If folks wanted to take out an insurance rider, they could. And so we'll probably offer something very similar to that.
We traveled with Carnival and other ones, and they offered sometimes.
Yeah, the added protection.
Yeah.
I will check with Straight A. I'm sure they've got something they'll say if you want to spend money, but we may price around and try to find our best bang for the buck. Okay, but good question there too. Yes, sir.
Is the deposit per person?
Per person, yes, sir, per person. Those payments are per person as well.
Well, no, it just says $150 deposit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes, there's per person. Any other questions? Well, listen, I know there are gonna be questions that come up over the next weeks and months. Please feel free. The best way to ask us is an email, and it may take us 2 or 3 hours to get back to it, but send me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer, okay? All right? Thank you very much, guys. Have a great evening. Don't forget to get mattress fundraiser signs.